As a little kid, I always felt like I was the only child with no father. Like I was out in the middle of a desert, all alone, to figure out things Dad is supposed to teach. I felt like I was blowing in the wind, with no sense of identity. So I had to become something to get a father's love. Dear Fatherhood, you're the one thing we don't talk about much, but you affect us all. It's crazy, it's like for years you've been under attack and people said you didn't exist anymore, but you do. See, you're still necessary for society's narrative. So this year we're gonna do it different. We're gonna celebrate you. I had to examine a few things in my life, all the things I missed as a kid, and all the things that I wanted to be, or I want to be, to my kids. So, this year, this is my love letter to fatherhood. Yo, yo!
Yo, yo! Dessert! Head up.
Have a seat, man. Let's chop it up, man. I just wanted to sit down and talk with you for this next couple of minutes. This Father's Day special. I wanted to do this for the people, but I actually wanted to have a conversation with you. So, is that cool with you?
I mean, like, you're the adult here, so...
Yeah, go right ahead.
So, yeah, that's basically your choice, so, yeah.
You understand it, though?
DJ Pryor's adorable conversation
the
with his 19-month-old
heartwarming babble
son,
banter
Kingston.
video went viral.
One baby she had everybody
Serious imagination. This brother's name is DJ Pryor.
Overnight, me and my youngest son, Kingston, became viral sensations, and the world would crown me as the greatest father. And while the accolades were flattering, they would also serve as triggers for the unresolved conflict inside of me with my childhood. And worse, they would start to make my oldest son feel invisible. Jabari's my oldest son. He's 10 years old. He's talented, funny, and just all around a great kid. Now don't get me wrong, I see a lot of me in my kids, but I saw something in Jabari that Kingston and Zaria have yet to experience. That reminded me of something all too familiar, that desperate need of affirmation from his father. All right, so here's the question. We got to address the elephant in the room. Everybody seems to think that you were jealous of your younger brother because he went viral with me. So go ahead and let's just address it. Were you indeed jealous of me and your brother? Just put it out there. We're just chopping it up. Just put it out there. Were you jealous?
Okay, so I wasn't jealous. I would just say, frustrated because, you know, when I was little, I used to do, videos and stuff and pictures with you, with song. So, yeah, I'm not really jealous. I'm just, okay, now I'm happy for him because he's my little brother.
Right.
I gotta be.
Right. You gotta be. I mean, nah, but I mean, were you happy?
Or
were you happy because you had to be?
I mean, like, still I was happy for him. But the part I was frustrated about is that because sometimes, people will walk up to Kingston asking them for pictures and stuff. Mm-hmm. But then when I say hi, they just look at me like, that happens a lot.
No, people say hi to you and stuff. People don't really do that.
But that's still...
They like to watch you dance. They like to watch you dance and stuff like that.
I mean, like, that's pretty much the only thing I'm good at, to be honest.
Nah, you good at a lot of stuff. You good at a lot of stuff. Here's what I think. People saw this video of me and Kingston, right? Mm-hmm. And they thought it was interesting the way he was talking back to me, right? Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, you know, when you watch the video, it's funny, right? You think it's funny, right? And you're right. You used to do all the same things. I think the difference is number one, I don't think I've ever. I mean, I think I have videos of you chatting with me, but my mindset was different. Like capturing moments for you guys was a lot different when I was younger. When you were little, than when Kingston was, when Kingston was that age. You'll find out when you get older, when you have kids, you'll find out you'll do things different.
Whoa, we sound
when you're
like
young.
kids.
When it's time, not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. When it's time. But when you have kids, and if it's 6 years between you and Kingston. So when you were little bitty, I did certain things a certain way because that was my understanding of fatherhood or how I move, or that was my way of parenting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then by the time, your brother came along, and by the time he was of age to talk, I was doing things different. And I always wanted to capture moments for you guys, so when you have it when you get older. Like now when I tell you stories, you're like, I never did that. But I remember you being not even a full one singing Justin Bieber. Remember that?
Oh,
you was singing whole Justin Bieber. So I'm saying y'all did things that were different, but I never posted those things, right? And then also my audience I didn't have that many followers then as I do now. So it was a whole bunch of things that were different. So you don't have to be happy for your brother. Were you? So let me ask you this question: were you really just on your own happy for your brother?
To be honest. Okay. Kingston, number one, he's my little brother. So what right do I have to be jealous of him and not happy for him? Because to be honest, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him because
Do you know he's proud of you? Like he looks up to you? How much he looks up to you?
I know he looks up to me, but the part that I don't know is that he's proud of me and stuff. So that's the part that
Why do you think he mocks everything you do? Like everything you do, he does. Why do you think that?
Because apparently
like you can say something, you like he go You know what I mean? You'll yell something, he'll just yell it back. Like he'll do the same thing you do. And you say, Dad, he imitates everything I do. Why do you think he does that?
Because apparently, I'm the coolest thing to him. Apparently,
he proud of you.
Whoa. Okay, so Dad, I wanted to ask you something. Okay, so I wanted to ask you. So were you excited when you figured out that I was on the way?
Excited, yes. Was I ready? No.
Jabari, like even when Jabari was born, the situation wasn't ideal, right? His mother was coming out of a marriage, and I was in no way prepared to be a dad.
I think, being a dad, that's a
huge responsibility.
That's a huge responsibility. So that's a game changer. When anybody becomes a parent, but when a man becomes a father, that's different. And so, I've always had to be responsible for somebody because I had your uncles and your aunties who I watched as I played the second parent in my house growing up. But when you have your own, it's a lot different. And when you do it, this is something when you have kids, I want you to do it, the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I made a decision and I didn't go about it the right way. So because of that, it just made me really question, was I going to be who I needed to be for you? And I'm gonna be honest with you. The day you were born, I remember I was laying on this couch, and I remember I was sitting there, and I was just thinking about it, man. I was like, yo, I gotta, this kid, and he gonna be looking at me for answers. At the time, I'm 22. I'm a struggling comedian. I'm trying to make things happen. You gonna look to me for answers. So I was looking like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna have what this kid needs.
Can you imagine having a baby on the way and being homeless? It's, like having a baby with something to give to them is scary. But having a baby on the way and you have nothing to offer but love, affection, because that was all I had to give. Like, you know, I made money here and there. I would go up on nights, you know, do a little set, you know, a little $20 here and there. That was just enough to cover diapers and things like that. But it was scary.
And even if I don't have what he needs, it ain't gonna matter to him, because when you're a baby, babies are selfish, right?
Trust me.
Yeah, right. So, and you were no different. Y'all you were a pretty good baby. You were a pretty good baby, but a baby doesn't care that you don't have the answers. You gotta figure it out really fast. And I did not have a lot of answers that I felt like a dad should have, because I didn't have all of the best examples. Now let me put this out here. Your pawpaw was a great example. He did what he had to do, and your great grandfather, he did what he had to do. But I still had an example of that the way you shouldn't be, which was from your grandfather, my biological dad. And so that was, I think I was so scared that I would become him, and that's what made me terrified to be
a father.
To be a father to you.
My story is far from pretty. My mother had me when she was 13 years old, and my father, I believe, was like 15, and wanted nothing to do with me. And I mean, now as a man, I get it, like how that can be scary. You know what I'm saying? For a young boy to find out that he's going to be somebody's father. But it was just, I think it was just the way that it was carried for so long, that he just didn't, that he didn't want to have anything to do with me, and he made that very, very clear. And so naturally, growing up, I was very angry.
Now I still find myself pretty afraid of certain decisions. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to be who I need to be for you. You know what I'm saying? You remind me all the time, Dad, I got a couple more years and I'll be in college. You know what I mean? I gotta remember that I only got a couple more years with you. You know what I'm saying? And those years are gonna go by fast. You know what I mean? You 10 years old now. You know, you'll graduate when you're 18.
8 more years.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's just pipe down. You got 8 more years. So I got to make those 8 years count. You know what I'm saying? And I don't stop being your dad at 18. It's just now I got to give you the next form of the type of dad you need. You know what I'm saying? Because we had a conversation. I tell you all the time, like, yo, as you get older, I'm going to expect more out of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's where me and you kind of clash now, because you want to still get treated like Kingston age. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to treat you like Kingston's age, because you're not Kingston's age. You know what I'm saying? So I challenge you more to do more. So right now to you, it just seemed like, you know, I'm just being a hard ass. That's what it feels like to you. Like, dang, Dad, you just, you know, Mom will let you, because, you know, your mom gonna let you, you know, Mom goes, that's my baby, yeah. But it's like, yeah, nah, but you're not. You might be her baby, but you're not a baby. And so that's where I'm at with you right now. But was I excited? Yes, I was excited about you. You know, I put stuff in my head about, you know, things we could do and how we'd hang out and stuff like that. But I just don't think nothing can really prepare you. You know what I mean? Like you watch somebody else's baby. You know what I'm saying? You can do stuff like that, but it ain't nothing to compare you to have your own kid. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I was at on it.
My son is amazingly talented. Jabari is amazingly talented. And I started to feel like he felt diminished in a way. And that wasn't okay with me. And I want him to understand that this stuff is, all this means nothing without you. Because my journey started with you. And when I realized like how important this was, I had to stop. You know what I mean? Like look, like all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, and he was like, no. When people call him for interviews and they just, we just want, we want you and your youngest son. It was like, yeah, but I got an oldest, I'm gonna bring him too. Well, we really just want, no, that's not how that works. We are a family. And I'm not gonna dump my son. And those, they know who they are. If, when you put that out, then you're never gonna get an interview with me. I'm done. Because my family comes first. My son comes first, literally, because he's the first. So I just remember how crazy that was. And I didn't want to turn into that nightmare for my son.
I gotta say something to you. You said something at the beginning. You said, dancing, because that's really all I'm good at. And I was like, when I hear you say stuff like that, it really makes me think like maybe I'm not communicating the right things to you. I want you to understand something. If you never hear nothing else I say, and I mean the camera's just on, but I want you to understand like this is really how I feel, right? This is not a setup for the special. This is really, I really want you to understand this. And this is something you can go back and look to when you're older. Is I never want you to feel like you're a slave to have to entertain people or dance or find some way to please people to get acceptance. You know what I'm saying? And I never want you, as your father, my job is to let you know that that's not what you have to do. And I remember as a kid wanting that so bad, that, I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, that's probably some of the reasons why comedy was my thing. That was probably one of the main reasons why, other than like abuse and all that other stuff, I just wanted that acceptance. I felt like if I was out front, that maybe the people that were supposed to like me and appreciate me and affirm me would do so. If I was funny DJ, you know what I'm saying? So I was always having to be the funny guy, and I'm always going, I got a joke for you. When I was in school, man, I was the class clown.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to feel like you can be who you are, and you don't always have, I ain't always feel like making jokes, but when I came to school, people always looking like, DJ, tell some jokes, or DJ, say this, and it did make me feel good. It did make me feel good, but it was when I got away from all the noise, and I was like, damn, do they really like me for me, or do they like me because, I'm funny, and then here's the thing, when you funny, it's crazy because you can make people laugh, right? And then they laughing, you the one to get in trouble. So you paying the cost for the joke, right? Which you should, because you the one telling it. But they benefit. They can have a great day off of the laugh that you gave, but the punishment is all yours, and ain't nobody gonna help you with that punishment. So I remember being a kid wanting that affirmation so bad. I'm gonna tell you a story. One time it was field day, and I think I'm in like first grade, and I remember wanting my dad there so bad, and my grandfather or great grandfather, he couldn't make it or whatever the case be, and everybody had their parents there, and I was like, okay, cool. So we were doing like the sack race. You know what sack race is, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So we doing sack racing. Everybody going, and so I remember all the kids getting ready for the sack race, and all the parents was cheering the kids on and everything. And I just remember I saw these dads out there like for real cheering boys on, like, yo, you can do it, let's go. You know, these men voices and these boys getting hype off their dad's voices. And I was like, yo, like I wanted that feeling. Like you could tell these dads was there and they was proud. And I knew at the end of this, these kids was going home with their dad, but I didn't have that feeling. I didn't know what that felt like. So I'm sitting there and they're going and it's my turn. And I go and I'm getting in line and it's time to go. And I remember all these kids taking off. Like, I mean, we going and I'm going. And I remember I'm hearing everybody's name getting yelled. I knew a lot of these kids, their names getting yelled, and nobody's out there yelling my name. And then I heard somebody say, "Come on, DJ, let's go." And I was like, oh shoot, like y'all, somebody's here, you know, Dad's here. Because I heard my dad's voice, "Yo, come on, DJ, let's go." And I was like, yo, and I'm hyped, right? So now I'm, you know, at the first I'm at like, you know, I'm at like third. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to scoop, you know, trying to get going. And I'm going, and come on, DJ, you got this, let's go. I know ain't none of these other kids named DJ, so I'm like, oh, they talking to me. And I get there, man, I'm like, yo, my dad's here. He didn't even tell me he could come. He don't even come to my school. So, yo, he cheering me on. And I'm going. And we get to the end, and I passed through all these kids. I was like at fifth, like fourth or fifth, and I blazed through all these kids, man. Bust through. I still made it to like second. Got through, parents screaming. Even if the kid lost, they screaming. Run on the field, grab their kids. And I remember standing there and I was waiting. Because I heard my dad and I'm waiting for him to come get me. And everybody coming, lifting their kids up, and I was standing there and all these parents went past me. And Jabari, nobody came and grabbed me. And I was confused. I was like, yo, what just happened? And what happened was, I wanted your grandfather to be there so bad that I told myself that he was there. So I really heard his voice. I psyched myself out to believe that he was there, only to get to the end to realize he wasn't there. And I just remember. I remember this feeling of, I just felt really, really sad. I felt really hurt. And all these kids were getting lifted up. And I, you know, I'm standing there and I remember going, like all the sound. I mean, people were cheering around me. It got muffled. You ever seen that in a movie, like it get muffled and everybody, ooh, it was like that. And it was really, really quiet. And I just remember standing there and I remember my teacher came and she just grabbed my hand. And I was so hurt I couldn't even cry right then. I didn't cry till I got back to the classroom. And I was really, really hurt. And so that taught me the lesson that, you know, it's power. What made me almost win that was that I heard my dad's voice. And I said to my kids, y'all will always hear my voice. I'm gonna always show up for you. So with that being said, you never have to feel like you have to be something to get me to show up for you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm always going to be there for you. I'm always going to have your back. You understand? And I'm always going to be that voice in your ear saying, all right, let's go. I know you feel weak, but let's go. And that's what I needed. That's what I need. I needed that to push me. And I think for a split second, think about it as an adult, I think God let that moment happen just for me to get through that. You know, just come on, you can do it. And now as an adult, realizing that my dad was never there, but God let that moment happen just to push. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to always hear my voice. Your entire life, I want you to hear my voice. Yo, you can do this. When you grow up and you're in college, I want you to hear my voice. You know what I'm saying? That's real. I always want you to hear that. You hear me?
Sure.
All right. Y'all can actually cut. Yeah. I want you to always hear my voice. Don't ever feel like you gotta be something. You be who you wanna be. You hear me?
Sure.
Cause I'm your dad regardless. And I'm proud to be your dad. You hear me? Don't ever feel like you gotta be somebody. You don't have to turn into nothing for me. You don't gotta do none of that. I love you just the way you are. I accept you just the way you are. You understand? And that's why I wanted to do this special, because
the fact that I have a father that, really is there for me. Because I know what you've been through the childhood, because, you always told me that and everything, so. But just know that it doesn't matter if, anybody isn't there for you. Just know that you're still loved and everything.
I know I am. And you and your brother and your sister, if I don't accomplish nothing else on this earth, y'all are my greatest accomplishment. And my life is not about what I didn't get as a kid, because it made me who I am to you. And I absolutely love being your father, man. I am blessed. I am blessed. I get every day. I get to be your dad. I don't have to be your dad. I get to be your dad. And that's why I'm so tough on you. Because I want you to understand something. That this world is cruel. And it can be harsh. But if I do nothing else, if I equip you for what this world is going to throw at you, then I've done my job. You understand? Mm-hmm. So, I just want to let you know I love you, man. And this whole thing, all of this, was about showing where this journey started for me. And you were the beginning to my journey of fatherhood. And I want you to know how much I love you. And I mean, you the homie, man. We good, and I'm very, very proud of you. And you're one talented guy. So stay focused, man. Okay? The greatest gift you can give me, you celebrate me. You and your siblings, y'all celebrate me all year round. The greatest gift you can give me as a father is being the best man you can be to the world, and you owe it to God, and you owe it to your fellow man to be the best, to give back to the world. You understand? Your life don't belong to you. You understand? Your life does not just belong to you, right? There's a part that, you gotta have your time for you and whatever the case be, but you were created to bless the world. You understand? And when you leave this earth, the earth should know you just left. You understand? Come here. I love you.
I don't think I realized just how, like, the world was adoring me for this one thing that I myself struggle with. I don't think I realized how messed up I was from fatherhood, from the lack of affirmation. And I was jacked. What I think the beauty of everything was, me and my biological dad, he would call me, we literally didn't have a relationship my entire life. In 3 years, we had 3 years before he passed away. He would call me He would call me like 3 in the morning. Yo, what you doing? I was like, sleep. Like, that's what people do. And we would chop it up, man. And we literally became the best of friends. And what's crazy is my father encouraged me to have a relationship with my biological dad. And I think that made him feel good, that he encouraged that he pushed that. And that says something about him. It takes a special man to raise somebody else's child and say, even though he didn't do anything for you, go build that relationship. And he pushed me and he encouraged me. That's still why he's my hero to this day. And then I built that relationship with my biological dad for those years, and we became the best of friends. And it meant more for him in the last days of his life to fix what he had messed up. So much so that it was like he refused to die till he fixed it. And I realized that even in all of his mistakes, he still taught me a valuable lesson. Like, don't do this. Don't go this route. You see what it did to you. Don't be that to my grandkids. And the whole time, even in absence, he was still a teacher. And so when the world reflects, and you know, on this day, this Father's Day, you know, I don't care which dad you got. In this situation, I got a total of 3 dads: my grandfather, my biological father, and the man who took me on, who was my father, who is my father. I don't care which one you get. They all have lessons to give. And these 3 men shaped my world. Fatherhood is still dope, and it's still very necessary. Whew, that was deep. All right, let me get back to the funny. Happy Father's Day.
I'm just making my way. The quest of a king. Yeah, got some little ones, they depending on me. Gotta boss up, be the bigger homie. Yeah, that sounds good. Rather that you show me ain't no shortcuts when it come to glory. I'm just making my way. The quest of a king. Yeah, got some little ones, they depending on me. Gotta boss up, be the bigger homie. Yeah, that sounds good. Rather that you show me ain't no shortcuts when it come to glory. I've been making my way, making sure my kids straight. Gotta do what it takes, see the smile on their face, biggest joy in my heart at the end of the day. Where they get all excited, all red in the face. I ain't going nowhere, they know that daddy here. Can't handle the bar, don't come in the paint. I'm not one of those, this ain't what